Hello all. Today, the 21st June, important day from geographical perspective. A very basic point which I want to remind. 21st June equals summer solstice, lengthiest duration of day. Additionally, there is a very prominent celestial phenomena that we are experiencing, that is the solar eclipse. This solar eclipse, collectively referred as ring of fire, is called annular solar eclipse. We are trying to understand the different types of solar eclipse, how the sun, the earth, and the moon system correlates to it, and how do we distinguish between commonly talked about three different types of solar eclipse: partial, annular, and total, with less talked about number 4 type called hybrid solar eclipse. अगर हम इसको दो तरीके से समझना चाहें, एक एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल स्टडी खगोल शास्त्र और दूसरा एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल स्टडी दैट इज ज्योतिष शास्त्र. इम्पैक्ट ऑफ इक्लिप्सेस, ग्रहण के प्रभाव ज्यादातर ज्योतिष शास्त्र के अंदर बताए जाते हैं. Geographically, we don't take it into reference with the several negativities that are being correlated to it. So, maintaining the scientific fervor, we are now trying to quickly understand the phenomena called solar eclipse and its relation to the sun, the moon, and the earth's relative positions. We can notice that there is the relativity of the position of sun, moon, and earth. Among these celestial bodies, it is moon that is not just smallest in its size and mass, has got shortest time of revolving round earth. And it is this revolution that tends to generate relativity of positions between sun, earth, and moon. This tends to create the shadowing effect on sun as seen from earth. And it is these shadows that tends to generate the variable types of eclipses effect. And that is what we want to learn from this diagram based study. So the sun, earth, and the moon system, where we talk about lunar phases. As we have seen the orbital path of moon, the elliptical path of orbit of moon around earth tends to generate distinctive types of phases, and it is these phases that tends to create the basis for understanding eclipses. So which are these phases that we are talking about? So can we notice in this diagram that we are believing the static position of earth and the revolution path of moon around earth, and this revolution path is identified with 8 defined phases. These phases of moon includes number 1, new moon. New moon is the position when there is aligned position of the sun, the moon, and earth, where moon is positioned in between the earth and the sun. If I ask you to get into the phase number 2 and I'm jumping onto the opposite side, full moon is also the aligned position. However, we can see that full moon is where moon is positioned on the opposite side of the earth compared to sun. And these are the two positions, the aligned positions, that in the tidal study is called syzygy. And it is with this aligned position, both of them, the new moon as well as full moon, that we tend to generate eclipses. So be very cautious with syzygy, that is sun, new moon, and earth. So moon is right there between earth and sun. So the moon will cast shadow on sun, tend to generate solar eclipses. And if I have to compare it with full moon, then it is earth that is in between sun and moon, and thus earth will be casting shadow on moon. That is the reason with full moon we correlate with lunar eclipses. With a point of reminder, every new moon is not solar eclipse, but every solar eclipse is new moon position. every lunar eclipse is full moon, but every full moon is not lunar eclipse. I need to generate the defined shadows casted by Earth on moon or moon on sun as seen from Earth to generate eclipse. The phases of moon, if I count in sequence now, so it is a new moon that paves the way to the waxing phases. So waxing crescent, the first quarter, the waxing gibbous, the full moon. Then we mark the beginning of waning phases. So it is waning gibbous, it is the last or the third quarter, and then it is waning crescent. So it is the aligned position that tends to generate eclipses. And because we are essentially talking about solar eclipse, we want to take new moon position into our reference and the shadow casted by moon as seen from Earth as our point of understanding. Now tend to notice the types of shadows. The types of shadows casted by moon is called umbra and penumbra. And these two shadows casted by moon is what we can understand with the reference of these simple diagrams now. What we just noticed in the small clipping, can you identify the shadows that moon is casting on the earth by blocking the sun rays? So we are noticing the part of the inner arc. This darker part is correlated to umbra, and the lighter shadow that we are noticing right here is called penumbra. And whenever we take the reference of umbra, total eclipse is what gets generated, and penumbra creates partial solar eclipse. And the shadow that we are casting is correlated with, not to miss out, the lunar orbit around Earth. I hope we are noticing the full shadow, inner part right here, and the partial shadow, penumbra, umbra, the orbit of moon around Earth, and what it tends to generate. Whenever we talk about the terminology that correlates with solar eclipse, we essentially believe in three types of areas which has to be taken into account to understand annular solar eclipse. The umbra, total solar eclipse; penumbra, partial solar eclipse; and entumbra, the annular eclipse. So the shadow consists of three areas, and how the position of moon as visible from Earth tends to decide the three types of solar eclipses that we tend to experience on planet Earth. As I already mentioned, depending on how moon shadow falls on Earth, the eclipses are classified as partial solar eclipse. The moon covers only part of sun. The penumbra, the lighter outer part of the shadow, creates partial solar eclipse. So partial solar eclipse is when moon is casting partial shadow on sun. And what is the shadow that correlates with partial solar eclipse? It is called penumbra. Now if I ask you to see the total solar eclipse, the second type of solar eclipse that we essentially talk about and commonly talk about, so the moon covers the sun disk completely, and this is basically related to umbra, the shadow's dark central part causes total solar eclipse. So total solar eclipse is when moon is completely covering the sun as seen from Earth, and it is essentially correlated with the shadow type called umbra. Carefully notice it here. Are we noticing the moon casting a complete shadow on Earth, and that is being called total solar eclipse. The total solar eclipse is identified to be the eclipse when the diffusion of the light is seen from all over the side of the moon. And that is where we essentially fail to distinguish between what is the difference that we see between total eclipse and the annular eclipse. The third type, annular solar eclipse, moon covered sun disk partially, creating a spectacular ring of fire around the moon. The entumbra, this is the important thing, a half shadow that begins when the umbra ends, results in annual solar eclipse. The annular solar eclipse correlates with third type of shadow called entumbra. Notice that annual eclipse is different from total eclipse, as there is a complete spectacular ring of fire that we correlate. It is different from total eclipse because in total eclipse we have got the diffusion of the light, unlike the ring of fire that we correlate with the annular eclipse, the third type of eclipse that we correlate with the solar eclipses types. I have created the phases of an annular solar eclipse because that is our focus right now. So we all can notice the movement, the covering movement of moon towards sun. So you can justify the first contact C1, moon starts to cover the sun. In the position called C2, the total solar eclipse begins, second contact. The moon starts to be inside the sun and we begin to see the ring of light around the sun. Maximum, the totality or maximum eclipse, moon covers the center of sun completing, creating stunning ring of fire in the sky, and that is what we refer as annular solar eclipse. And then we can see C3 where the uncovering takes place, C4 when the uncovering is completely done. So if I have to distinguish, this is my partial eclipses, total eclipse, with scattering light. Phases caused by shadows. Interestingly, there is one more type of solar eclipse that is not commonly talked about. It is called hybrid eclipse. So hybrid eclipse actually is the combination of any of the other three eclipses that we have already understood. Penumbra goes with the partial eclipses. When I talk about umbra, it is going with total eclipse. And when it is the reference of etumbra, it is generating annular solar eclipse. Then what is this hybrid solar eclipse? Rare type of solar eclipse that changes its appearance as the moon shadow moves across the Earth's surface. Now carefully see this diagram. In the direction of moon's orbit, the hybrid solar eclipse involves all the three areas of moon's shadow and combine all the three types of solar eclipse. So hybrid essentially is combination of all the three types of solar eclipse. Notice the hybrid eclipse. Are we noticing on the right side, we are taking the reference of partial solar eclipse. And if I continue on with the changing positions, carefully notice, hybrid solar eclipse can incorporate both total solar eclipse as well as annular solar eclipse. And it is also that these two cases of total eclipse and annular eclipse can give us two different varieties, and both of them are significant for us to understand. Interesting one. Can we notice this is what is called Bally beads? It can correlate with the annular solar eclipse much more defined, also can be related to the total solar eclipse as well. The another type that you can easily see, distinguished from Bally beads, is the diamond ring. Logically see it. The arc of light is much stronger on one point of the given side. And that is where the solitaire can be seen and this is what is called the diamond ring. Right. So whenever we talk about any sort of such celestial phenomena, there is always a curiosity that tends to get generated, as in how it is happening, how it is going to influence us. Technically, solar eclipse is nothing but a regular celestial phenomena which surely tends to generate an important understanding of relativity of different types of celestial bodies around us. I hope it will further help you in consolidating your knowledge about solar eclipses. This is it from my side. Goodbye and take care.